for the best sports in Lorain. That's TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
From the Titan Gymnasium here at Lorain High School, good evening, everyone, and welcome to this very special sports presentation on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. We've got freshman basketball for you, the ninth graders, as Lorain High takes on Garfield Heights. Tim Elkhorn along with Bob Brackish. Bob, it's good to work with you again.
It's been a couple years. This is my pleasure, believe me, Tim. Lorain High freshmen, they're fairly decent. They're coming in 10-9. They lost 10-9. They lost a rough one last night to Erie Catholic. But Brian Clark is their head coach. He's one of my old players. He does a heck of a job with these Lorain freshmen.
So Lorain will have possession to start things off as the initial tip went out of bounds. And so Lorain with it as the Titans are in their home whites here on this Thursday here in the city of Lorain. Left wing three is good. How about that? Right out of the chute, Anthony Lorenzo, the freshman for Lorain High, knocking down a three ball.
Well, he's the leading scorer for this freshman crew.
Garfield Heights heading to the other end. A three from the other side is off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound grabbed by Lorain. They'll bring it to the forecourt. Lorenzo, run of the lane, stops, shoots, misses. Rebound grabbed by Garfield Heights.
Oh!
Shouldn't that have been
that was very, very close over and back.
I think they missed that one.
I do too. These teams played before, Tim. Lorain High won by 6.
Well, how about Stephen Cornwell knocking that one in from long range for Garfield Heights, tying the game at 3. Again, 6-minute quarters at the freshman level. Up the left side comes Christian Ruiz. Ruiz left of the lane. Nice bank shot from Christian. There you go. Freshman with his first 2. And Lorain High with the 5-3 lead. Always great to be here in the Titan Gym. With some great memories in the short time it's been around.
Back in the day, all 3 gyms had some unbelievable memories here in Lorain.
Boy, that's for sure. That is absolutely for sure. Lorain with the basketball. Childs 3.
Wow.
Boy, how about Lorain High coming out of the chute? 2 threes and a 2-point field goal from Ruiz and Lorain High. And I think they put those points on the wrong side right there. I've got Lorain with 8. I think they gave that 3 ball to the wrong team. But again, it's the book that's official, not the scoreboard. So I'm sure they have it correctly in the book down there. And at the other end, nice shot again by Cornwell. Cornwell with a couple of field goals. So that'll make it 8-5.
Shooting the basketball at this point in time, and I coached freshman Tim for years and years and years. Shooting the ball properly, technically properly, is one of the biggest challenges of a freshman coach. And I've always watched the shots during warm-ups, and freshman shots look pretty good. Brian Clark has done a nice job.
It's interesting with the Cavalier position. I'm at practices and shoot-arounds and obviously get to watch the guys shoot quite a bit. It's fascinating to me. They all shoot it a little bit differently.
Yeah, a little bit differently, but for the good shooters, you'll have some things in common. Their legs will get the shot, though. Elbows will be lined up. Releases will be good. They'll get some air under it, some nice lift. But when the freshmen when they came in, believe me, at the beginning of the season, a lot of them were still shooting push shots from the hip, just as a carryover from when they were so young, and that was the only way they could get the ball up to the basket. Now, and really, at the freshman level, you have to spend 40 minutes a day on form shooting and shooting drills, using shots that you expect to get out of your offense. And Brian does a nice job of that, Brian Clark.
Turnover by Garfield Heights as Lorain swarmed it defensively. Titans up 8-5. This is freshman basketball, 9th grade action here at Lorain. Titans and Garfield Heights.
Wow, it's a strange defensive concept out there for Garfield. It's almost like a 3-2 zone, but it's not. they're playing man-to-man, and they're trapped in the first pass and trying to get into the two passing lanes off of that trap.
Bob, as much as you try to instill at the freshman level what these young kids will encounter just as far as schematic-wise and system-wise at the JV and varsity level, on the flip side, I'm sure you don't want to overcomplicate it.
No, you can't overcomplicate it, because really, Tim, you're starting at ground zero.
Right.
But the learning curve is going to be very steep.
Turnover by Lorain, and at the other end, that's Davis with his first two. Makes it an 8-7 ball game. Lorain with the 1-point lead. 2.5 minutes to go, first quarter.
Oh, no foul. Get in there.
There we go on a putback. That's Ryan DiBernardo.
But Tim, on the defensive side, it's really five drills, and if you do them every day, by the end of the season, if you continue to do them, it only takes about 5 minutes a day per drill. But on the defensive end, that's all it is. It's 5 drills, a lot of form shooting.
Nice deflection there by Pettis, and then they tried to get it back to Pettis, but the ball knocked out of bounds by Cornwell for Garfield Heights.
And on the offensive end, run something where you spread. You spread the offense out. It's best for developmental purposes that every player on the offensive end is playing facing the basket, developing those skills. You can always move them inside later, but you do keep it simple.
Kimbrough has now checked in for Lorain, driving, scooping, and scoring. Nice job by Christian Ruiz. So it's now a 12-7 Titan advantage, under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. I will say this, 6-minute quarters really fly.
Well, usually, yeah.
I'm used to double that.
Right, the 6-minute quarter goes back to when I first started back in the 70s, and then they raised it to 7, which was the JV quarter limit, and then now, of course, the varsity is 8, but because Garfield arrived late, Tim, I'm sure they've shortened up the game.
Yep. Pettis with a nice driving bucket and a chance for an and one for Lorain High. One thing I like about the freshman program here at Lorain is we watch the early going. Boy, a lot of young men get out on that floor and play. Get playing time experience.
That's important. That's absolutely important.
14-7. Lorain with the 7-point lead. Garfield Heights with the basketball.
Garfield plays hard.
Yes, they do.
They really do play hard.
Kind of foul called on Lorain.
Again, first time around, Lorain High did win by 6.
Three balls off the mark for Garfield Heights, and out of there with it for Lorain High is Pettis. Dennis Pettis Jr. into the forecourt. Left of the lane, lost the ball, and out of there with it come the Tigers. Garfield Heights to the other end, driving, and all the way to the hoop, but missing is Cornwell. And we've got a tie-up on the rebound. Possession arrow will belong to Garfield Heights. Well, as I looked at the scorers table, it looked like Garfield Heights with the possession arrow. And there we go. The official said, look over at that scoreboard, or excuse me, scoring table, folks.
Tim, is that score correct? 14-7? I know we don't have the super on the screen for people at home. We have to announce it regularly.
I've got 14 for Lorain, okay, and I've got 7 for Garfield Heights. Yep. Trying to save it in bounds was Kimbrough for Lorain. Couldn't quite tippy-toe that baseline, so the basketball will still belong to Garfield Heights as we're under a minute to go here in the first quarter of play. Garfield Heights gets a clean look off the inbounds, but Cornwell misses the shot, and the rebound goes out of bounds, and it still belongs to Garfield Heights.
You're talking about involvement, Tim. Back in the 80s, we used to have, an A and a B squad, because you never know who out there is going to really grow and develop and how it's going to unfold. And we would have at the freshman level, now this was at Admiral King, 25 involved. The B squad playing a limited schedule, but still involved.
Timeout on the floor. We'll keep it right here, 14-7. Lorain High with the 7-point lead as we are late in quarter number one. Of course, Joe Bach, B-O-C-K, wreaking havoc here at the Titan Gym. He just threw a Ben Roethlisberger-like pass down to the floor. Went wildly incomplete. That's why it looked like a Roethlisberger pass.
Speaking of Joe, Tim, I mean, you really have to give Channel 20 and Joe Bach and Brian Corey and everybody else that's involved a lot of credit. Nobody in the state of Ohio covers high school sports the way Channel 20 does. And I will guarantee you this is the only freshman game, the two that we've done, or maybe it's going to be three this year, that is broadcast anywhere in the state of Ohio. It's just amazing, the number of games. It's fantastic.
It might be the only freshman game that an NBA announcer is doing
there you
this
go.
winter as well.
There you go.
But I love it. I love doing it.
That's good. That's good.
Shot put up, no good. I'll have to ask Mike Breen. Hey, Mike, did you do a freshman game during the All-Star break?
Yeah, that's good.
Lorain turns it over, and then stolen, not quite able to maintain control, was Kimbrough. I didn't think about that. Yeah, Joe Bach, my feed just went up.
Well, I mean, it's amazing the job over the years. This is my 21st or 22nd, Joe's 21st, I think, of doing these. Just fantastic.
It's a labor of love. This is so much fun. This is where you see future stars.
Well, and you know what's great about the freshmen, Tim, and I've coached at various levels, the learning curve is at its most steep here. I mean, when you take a look at what you have at the beginning of the year compared to what you see now, it's just amazing, and it's very rewarding from a coach's standpoint.
Baseline shot off the mark for Kimbrough. Rebound Garfield Heights. They're down 14-7. They can play for the final shot. And now tripped up out front. We do have a whistle and a foul as Cornwell got knocked down. And for Lorain High, that'll be their second team foul.
2.2, not a bad foul. Had plenty to give.
Garfield Heights will inbound. Lorain up by 7. Left side Cornwell. He'll let it fly. Its way short, and that ends the first quarter of play. Titans with a 7-point lead at the end of one. 14-7. Lorain High leading Garfield Heights here at the Titan Gym. So glad to bring it to you on this special sports presentation of WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
We make Marines who overpower the desire to quit with the perseverance to prevail. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
14-7, Lorain High with the 7-point lead at the end of one. Had a chance to chat with Brian before the action got underway here at Lorain this afternoon. One of my all-time favorite people. Boy, talk about doing things a long time. I called Brian's games when he was a player at Admiral King, and then, of course, he got into coaching and was very successful over at Southview, and now the AD. I just love Brian and his family. They're great people.
Close personal friend of mine, one of my fishing buddies. You wouldn't believe, not everybody realizes the amount of time he puts into the organization of Lorain sports, athletics for the district. It's amazing.
Garfield Heights with a miss, a tip that's no good, and the rebound grab by Zayden Martinez for Lorain High. Again, a lot of freshmen out on the floor. Not all at once, of course, for Lorain. 5 at a time, but a lot of guys, they get to see some playing time, and that's very good. Boy,
no foul. Ouch.
That was a violent collision.
That hurt me.
Out of there with it comes Garfield Heights. Long pass down the floor, and we do have a foul called as Devon Armstrong went to the bucket.
Not a bad little Euro step there. Down at the other end on offense, I hope everybody watches Lorain High's offense, everybody facing the basket, floor spread. Players, back in the old day, you took your two biggest kids, regardless of their size, and you stuck them on the blocks. They kind of became stereotyped that way, and they never evolved. They never developed. Now, it's all about spreading the floor, facing the basket. It's one of the major changes in the entire game at every level, but it really allows the players to develop more. If they become, 6'8" aircraft carriers, you can teach them post moves in about 2 weeks. You can't teach them to become a basketball player if they're standing on a block facing with their back to the basket.
14-8 as Armstrong split the 2 free throws, and now a turnover by Lorain. And down the floor, driving but missing the shot, was a freshman for Garfield Heights. That might have been Davis. Well, they show him as number 3 on the freshman roster, number 15 on the JV roster. So we don't have a 15 on the freshman roster. But the first free throw is up and no good. 5:02 to go, first half, 14-8. Lorain High with a 6-point lead.
15 on the Lorain High roster?
No,
Jim?
Garfield
Okay.
Heights. We don't have a 15 on the freshman roster. We have a 15 on the JV roster who is listed as a freshman, but he's listed on the freshman roster at a different number. Driving shot put up no good. Rebound tried to be saved in by Ryan DiBernardo, but he wasn't able to do it. For Lorain High, some balanced scoring. Christian Ruiz, a couple of field goals for 4. Jashawn Childs has a 3-ball for 3 points. Anthony Lorenzo also with a 3-ball for 3. 4:45 to go here in the first half of play. Lorain with that 6-point lead.
It's pretty good defense right there.
Yep, driving shot missed. And you're right, Childs with terrific defense for Lorain. And out front ball knocked away.
I want to mention that's Chris Kimbrough coaching the freshmen tonight for Brian. Chris Kimbrough on the sidelines for Lorain High.
Well, you talk about a great player and did his games.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And, of course, had that tough injury his senior year.
Yes.
A lot of folks think that kept Lorain from a deep tournament run. Lorain with the basketball, leading by 6 in the left corner is Ruiz, and ball got knocked out of his hands out of bounds. And speaking of Chris Kimbrough, he's going to take a timeout with 4:11 to go here in the first half of play. 14-8, Lorain leading by 6.
Tim, we have Cleveland Clinic on board with us also. The sports medicine team at Cleveland Clinic Sports Health offers diagnosis and treatment for athletes of all abilities and ages. Call 877-440-TEAM. 877-440-TEAM. Cleveland Clinic Sports Health is a proud medical provider for Lorain High student athletics.
Bob, you were talking about the development at the freshman level and how you probably see more growth in a freshman than any other level. Where do you normally see, what aspect of basketball do you really see the improvement at the freshman level?
Physically and mentally. They understand the team concept much better. All the physical, pass, catch, shooting, it really has to be emphasized. So it's really a combination of both the mental aspect of the game and the physical, fundamental aspect of the game. And at this level, you really have to teach fundamentals. Mitch Gillum told me one time, I was coaching, and he said, I don't know, we might have lost the game, and I was irate. He said, teach fundamentals, and winning and losing will take care of itself. And I'll never forget that.
Yep.
You have to break it down.
Lorenzo's bucket gives Lorain a 16-8 lead, and now they'll head to the other end following a miss by Garfield Heights. 3:40 to go first half. Lorain with that 8-point advantage. Lorain with the basketball in the right corner, a rainbow three, and it's right on the mark from DiBernardo.
Nice.
Boy, he sent that one up near the light fixtures. 19-8, an 11-point lead for the Titans. 3:20 to go in the half. Nice shot, DiBernardo. Into the lane, scooping and missing is the young man that we don't have a number for. Let's hear if I can pick it up from Jim Allen. I think Jim's doing the PA over there.
I don't. Oh, is he? Yeah, yes, he is.
Yep.
I saw Jim celebrated 50 years of radio the other day, or this past year. Past couple of weeks, actually.
Yes. I thought I heard a name, but Reed? Yeah. Yeah, Jim is such an iconic figure in Lorain County as far as his radio
question.
history is concerned.
And a nicer person you will never meet.
(19-8), Lorain by 11, 3:17 to go in the half. Second free throw by Reed is no good. So he missed them both. Into the forecourt comes Lorain High. And the wraparound pass is intercepted by Garfield Heights. Good idea, but the defender was there, and a drive and a miss at the other end. But it comes back to the right side. Jumper put up, bounced around the rim and out. And the rebound's grabbed by DiBernardo. DiBernardo for Lorain High tried to flip it out front to Micah Williams, and the pass got knocked out of bounds.
We're seeing a common freshman mistake out here by both teams, Tim. When you're pressured, you have to back cut. And both teams are fighting pressure around the 10-second line. You have to back cut pressure and make yourself available off of that trap. When your man goes to trap, you have to curl in front of that trap and relieve that pressure. And we're having a bit of a problem in here. The man off of the trap, whose man is trapping, isn't making himself available to relieve that pressure. And also on top of that, here comes the trap again. And finally someone made themselves available. Nice pass.
And a foul will put Williams at the free throw line.
Because if you can make that next pass, you're playing 4-on-3 to the basket out of that trap.
So Micah Williams looking for his first points of the ball game. Line left with 2:35 to go in the first half. And Lorain High up by 11 at 19-8. Micah misses that first free throw. He's got one more coming. So right now for Lorain High, you've got Jashawn Childs along with Micah Williams, Christian Ruiz, Zayden Martinez, as that second free throw bounces around and out. And the fifth Titan out there right now is Anthony Lorenzo. In the backcourt, Garfield Heights with a turnover as that ball went off the hands of Jalen Davis in the backcourt.
The turnover, that's a stat that really changes with freshmen as the year unfolds. To start the season, and you'll be around 20, 18, 20. By the end of the season, this point in time, we used to get it into single digits once in a while. Big difference in forcing the ball.
Lorain with the basketball and that 11-point lead. Here's Lorenzo, feeds it down the left side. And now left of the lane, bank shot no good for Ruiz, and Garfield Heights has the basketball. Long pass down the floor, and Werman got run into. And now the foul is called.
Officials are letting them play.
I think the officials realized the bus was late.
Yeah, the bus was late. It is snowing. It's pretty rough weather out there.
So here's Noah Werman at the free throw line, shooting 2 for Garfield Heights with 2:06 to go here in the first half of play. Lorain by 11, 19-8. First free throw a little strong.
One of the differences you could see in the game, we go back to shooting and fundamentals, you could see the shooting of the basketball fundamentally on the Lorain High side exceeds that of Garfield. Just about all of these shots, that one wasn't too bad, are still broken. But Lorain High, fundamentally, the shots look pretty good.
Driving, scooping, and scoring for Lorain High, but being called for the travel was Anthony Lorenzo. I thought that was a good call, Bob.
You agreed with that call?
I did.
The travel?
Yeah. And trust me, I'm seeing a lot of stuff where I think it's a travel.
I know you see some traveling.
Well, Garfield Heights with a couple of point-blank shots that don't fall, and then in the backcourt, Micah Williams got undercut and went to the deck. The foul will be called on Garfield Heights.
This 8 points by the visiting team Garfield with 1:38 left. Now again, they've shortened up the quarters to 6, but I'm sure that is a low for the season. as far as the Lorain High defense is concerned, there's the trap. Again, we did not make ourselves available off of the trap. Result, turnover.
And into the lane with a nice running shot is Noah Werman. So that's his first 2 points. Lorain quickly at the other end, and the bank shot is up and good from Micah Kimbrough. Those are his first 2 points of the ball game. 21-10. Lorain High with an 11-point lead. Again, this is freshman basketball. The 9th graders out on the floor here at the Titan Gym. Garfield Heights with the basketball, and a 3-ball from the right side is off the back of the rim. And a scramble for the rebound. Out of there with it. Here's Werman driving, missing. And the rebound put back up, no good. Another point-blank shot missed. And out of there with it comes Lorain. Childs with a nice feed down the floor. First shot, no good. Second shot, Williams fouled.
You know, the other thing you'll notice, first open man up the floor gets the basketball. That's the rule, and Lorain High adheres to that very well. First open man up the floor is getting the basketball on every transition possession. That's good.
So Micah Williams back at the free throw line. Missed a couple earlier in the ball game. Right now, a couple of freshmen with 5 for Lorain. Lorenzo with 5 and DiBernardo with 5. First free throw by Williams is good. So he's got his first point of the ball game. And now for Lorain, Demarian Prichinski. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, both first name and last name. Second free throw, no good. Rebound grab by Garfield Heights. All sorts of time with 30 seconds to go. And a nice driving left-handed shot by Kevin Dykes.
Little Euro step with the left hand. Nice.
And now Garfield Heights with the pressure in the backcourt, but will get a foul called.
So you have to curl cut in front of that trap. If your man goes to trap, you have to make yourself available, make a little C cut or a curl cut in front of that trap, then turn and attack because you have a numbers advantage. We're not doing that in many cases.
So, Bob, as the viewers are watching this on TV 20, when you say a curl cut or a C cut, describe what they should be looking for.
Well, okay, if in the half court, let's say your man goes and traps after you've passed the basketball to your teammate. Well, you have to make a C cut or a curl cut in front of that trap and make yourself available to get it back.
Turnover Garfield Heights, driving, missing the shot, but the follow is good by Micah Williams.
And then once you beat a trap,
we're down to 2-1, and as the ball goes out of bounds, the buzzer sounds, and that ends the first half of play. Lorain High has doubled the score as the freshman Titans are leading the freshman Tigers of Garfield Heights 24-12. Before we take the break, I want you to finish your thought.
And then once you beat the trap and you've curled in front of the trap and get the basketball, you turn and attack because you have 2 defenders against 1 offender behind you. You now have a 4-on-3 advantage to the basket. You turn and attack, and you make the other team pay for trapping, just like in full court pressure. Make the other team pay the consequences of pressing you full court. That's, so that you can use the defensive team's pressure to actually your advantage. Make them pay for that by attacking the basket.
There you go. 24-12, Lorain High with the 12-point lead at the half. Freshman basketball here at Lorain. Glad you've joined us on this special sports presentation on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Yes, for a nicer day, huh?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Gonna get some big ones. Anybody want to wear a life jacket?
I'm good.
No life jacket? That's a deal breaker.
Daddy, you promised.
Daniel Stevens.
Yeah, give me one of those life jackets.
This message brought to you by the National Safe Boating Council and the women who nag you. Love you.
The Warriors to Work program makes it possible for wounded warriors and their families to build new lives together.
When my dad left, I was like this big, but now I'm like this big. My dad got a master's degree and in human resources.
Thanks to Warriors to Work that my dad has a terrific job.
The Wounded Warrior Project helps them by, giving them another start.
Now that my dad's home, I get a lot more hugs.
I'm really proud of him.
Find out more about Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home, the brave.
Second half about to get underway, 24-12. Lorain High with a 12-point lead as we start quarter number 3. Garfield Heights with the basketball. Garfield Heights. What's making you, wow?
Lorain High playing a zone. You very rarely see a zone from a Lorain High freshman team. The theory is at the freshman level, play man-to-man. We can easily teach you how to play a zone next year. But came out in the zone there, and teams, especially freshman teams, when you change defenses, have a tendency to stand, and that's just what Garfield Heights did on that possession, resulting in a turnover.
So now Lorain with their first possession here in the third quarter of play. Again, they're up by 12. In the lane, getting his shot blocked was Ruiz. Out of there with it comes Garfield Heights. Here's Reed driving, missing, rebound grab by Lorain High, but they turn it over. And driving and missing for Garfield Heights was Cornwell, but the putback is good. So it's now a 24-14 ball game. At the other end, a whistle and a foul. Tim Elkhorn, Bob Brackish, and of course, Joe Bach.
Joe Bach.
Joe had me into the Keebler Studios the other day. We did a couple of sports scene shows.
Sweet.
Had John Rossitano and Mark Feldman talking about their boys and girls programs.
Speaking of Mark Feldman, 18-4 this year with the girls varsity.
Just a tremendous campaign.
Co-Lake Erie League champs.
Mark really spoke highly of his girls as the shot goes up and it's missed, but the putback is good for Christian Ruiz. He now leads Lorain with 6 points. Ruiz with 6, DiBernardo with 5, and Lorenzo with 5. 26-14, Lorain by 12.
I think they won something like 7 last year or 8. I mean, he's really worked hard. I see him out on the AAU circuit all during the summer. He's got some young kids and some girls playing on various teams. Mark has really worked on it. 12-12 last year okay, thanks, Joe Bach corrected me, it was 12-12. Progressively getting better every year, Joe. I can remember, a couple of years ago, it was like 3 or 4. Good job by Mark.
Absolutely. Coming underneath the basket, but, that Christian, or having that reverse layup go awry is Christian Ruiz.
And the girls' JV team was 20-0. Wow, Mark has some players coming.
Yeah, as I said during that sports scene, which Joe, I believe, is up on the YouTube channel right now, correct? Yep. The sports scene with yours truly and Mark Feldman. Well, he just sang the praises of the players not only this year, but, Bob, as you alluded to, the ones that are coming up.
Wow.
Lorain girls basketball looks like it has a bright future. 12-point lead for the freshman boys right here from Lorain, although that running shot is good by Jalen Davis. Gives him 4 points in the ball game. Lorain's lead is 10, 26-16.
Oh.
There's a 3 ball that draws nothing but air. Here comes Garfield Heights.
We don't want to shoot him back in the game here, fellas. Come on.
Cornwell with a driving shot that's good to make it 26-18.
There's that trap. Somebody has to make themselves available, and nobody did. Almost another turnover.
Yeah, ball knocked out of bounds at the half-court line.
You have to relieve that and run and make yourself available to relieve pressure. And then again, as we talked in the first half, turn and attack because you have numbers.
Lorain's lead down to 8.
Oh,
they were up by 12 at the half. Open 3 ball. Perfect. Nice shot. Jashawn Childs, that's his second bomb.
Nice stroke.
Makes it 29-18. He now ties Ruiz for game-high honors. They each have 6. Lorain's lead back to 11. 3:10 to go here in the third quarter. And Garfield Heights is going to take a timeout. We'll keep it right here with 3:09 to go in the third. Lorain High with a 29-18 lead. Again, Childs with 6, Ruiz with 6, DiBernardo with 5, Lorenzo with 5, Michael Williams with 3, and we've got Micah Kimbrough with 2, and Dennis Pettis Jr. also with 2.
Yeah, I'm sure, Tim, that timeout was taken by Garfield because you'll notice they're standing against this zone. They're not recognizing the defense, and again, as we said before, when you change defenses at the high school level, teams have a tendency to stand. A lot of coaches will change a defense or out of a timeout or so forth, some on the run after free throw situations. But high school teams will have that tendency to stand. I've always thought that when you're in that situation and your team doesn't recognize the opposition's defense, run your man-to-man offense, because at least you'll have floor spacing and movement. So just run your man, even if it's against the zone. Run your man offense. That will, get you where you want to go to a far better degree than if everybody stands and turns it over.
With, of course, the zone defense now at the NBA level, Bob, one of the things that Jim Jones has talked about during the course of the Cavs season has been the key to beating a zone is movement and cutting through the zone.
Absolutely. Penetrating the seams, reversing the basketball, cutting from behind the defense. Yeah, absolutely. Those are the 3 keys.
Looks like Lorain has now gone back to their man-to-man. And that creates a turnover, although Garfield Heights gets it right back. And on the right wing, a 3-ball is off the mark. A nice offensive rebound and a dish underneath. Garfield. And Reed with a bucket.
Now make yourself available right now. Again, not making them off the ball available results in a turnover.
And a drive and a miss by Garfield Heights, but the putback is also missed. And here comes Jashawn Childs. Feeds right side. 3-ball. Nope. Rebound grabbed in the lane.
Jump hook.
Not a lot of room to operate. Shot goes up, no good for Childs. And out of there with it comes Garfield Heights. 2:05 to go in the third quarter. Lorain with the 9-point lead. Pass in the lane, and a little rolling shot is up and good.
Turnovers and poor shot selection. Garfield's getting right back in the game. Another turnover.
There's another turnover. And a drive and a score.
I'm Kimbrough. I might take a timeout here.
Yeah, Chris just did. As all of a sudden, Lorain High's lead, which was in double figures, is down to 5 at 29-24. So Chris is going to regroup the troops.
I started mentoring my mentee, Dontre, 4 years ago. I always thought about doing it. It always seemed like a good idea.
We were both nervous when we first met, but everything kind of fell into place.
Mentoring is important to anyone that's pretty fortunate in life to have a little bit of time to pass on that knowledge.
Etienne's a very close friend. I look at him as a brother and a father figure. He taught me just focus on the big picture because I would like to give back just like Etienne gave back to me. Be someone who matters to someone who matters.
All right, so what did Chris Kimbrough just tell his young man?
Well, again, how to deal with the trap. And once you're running an offense at the other end, do not shoot them back into the game. It shouldn't be one pass. That's a turnover right there. 10-second violation. A over and back violation.
Yep.
But I'm sure they addressed the issue of, let's run an offense. Let's get better shots. Let's not shoot Garfield back into the game. And, of course, the other key is handling that, the Garfield pressure, especially off of the trap.
So Garfield has made it a 5-point game, and they're trying to get a little bit closer. Out front, 3-ball, nope. So Garfield with 3 opportunities right there. None of the shots would fall.
Tim, we were talking about shooting the basketball. The difference between these two teams is one team can shoot it, the other can't. Now that's a forced pass. Chris Kimbrough can't be happy with that. Can't, again, self-inflicted wounds, turnovers, and allow Garfield back in.
So Lorain with the basketball and a 5-point lead. Lorain has only scored 5 points here in the third quarter. They were up 24-12 at the half.
Well, you're absolutely right, Tim. Turnovers, they've turned it over before a shot, and then the shots they've taken, the selection is questionable. Good ball fake there.
Everything was good there by Micah Williams. He just couldn't get the shot to fall. But to Bob's point, good ball fake and then drove the baseline, and he was able to draw the foul. So here's Micah Williams, 1 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 points overall, 59 seconds to go in the quarter. Titans by 5 at 29-24.
As a team at this level, if you can shoot 60% from the line, you're doing well.
And that first free throw rolled around every inch of the iron and fell off.
You know, Tim, I've watched a lot of girls basketball the last few years, spectator. Girls shoot free throws better than the guys. I'm telling you. They've got that little simple push shot. They're all lined up. They get a lot of air under the ball. They shoot them better than guys.
Second free throw, no good. So what's the key to a good free throw shooter?
Elbow lined up with your, if you're right-handed, with your right foot slightly forward. You want to get your legs into the shot so that you get air under the shot. Your release has to be off your fingertips with a follow-through so you get the proper backspin that you saw on that shot right there.
Yep.
And it's a line.
And are you targeting the front of the rim?
He's shooting for just over the front of the rim.
Correct.
Just over the front of the rim.
Yep. So Lorain's lead is 6, 30-24. Now Lorain is going to do some trapping and out of there with it come the Titans, although they throw it away. And then in the backcourt, Dennis Pettis banged into a Garfield Height Tiger.
Okay, we're seeing some regression here. These turnovers aren't really forced by the defense. They're self-inflicted wounds, guys. Make the easy pass.
So with 39.5 on the clock, Garfield Heights with the basketball. See how much time they try to wind down. Again, at the freshman level, that's tough. A collision in the center circle. And now a long three. That's off the mark. Well, that would have been an NBA three ball if it had fallen.
Somebody come back and help here.
Into the forecourt comes Ruiz. Ruiz right in front of the Lorain bench. 14 on the clock. Got it out front with the basketball. Lorenzo. 9 on the clock. Here comes a double team. Lorenzo shoots it in the left corner. Driving the baseline is Micah.
No!
Nobody got fouled. Micah Williams. Good strong move to the bucket.
Well, 30-24 with just under 3 seconds remaining.
Yes, Maxwell, free throw shooter.
Tim, I can't recall. What was the big lead?
Well, it was 24-12 at the half, yes. Yeah. So Lorain has a 6-point third quarter, now 7. Now, I've been saying for Lorain, Micah Williams is number 10. I think I just heard Jim Allen say a different name. I hope I haven't misidentified this young man. Perhaps he was announcing the foul for Garfield Heights. Micah splits the pair. Out of there with it come the Tigers, and that ends the third quarter of play. So Lorain had a 12-point lead at the half. They get outscored in the third quarter 12-7. And it's a 31-24 ball game as we head to the fourth on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Inspiring city and campus. Inspiring people. Inspiring creativity. Inspiring hands-on learning. Inspiring global experiences. Inspiring traditions. Be a Buckeye. Inspire.
7-point lead for Lorain High as we bring you freshman basketball here on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television. And as we start the fourth quarter, a 3-ball from the right wing by Martinez is off the mark.
Oh,
and a violent collision here at the half-court line.
Oh.
As when we had a pretty
what was
good
that all
collision
about?
between Pettis.
The one Garfield player was going to help lift one of our.
Yeah, he was being a good sport.
And then his teammate came over and said, "Don't do that."
31-24, Lorain by 7. Ninth grade basketball here at the Titan Gym. Our fourth quarter just underway.
Too much standing here. You got to have movement.
And right of the lane, the shot is off the mark for Ruiz, and we've got a whistle. So they'll sort it all out, and Lorain High will inbound.
Let's see what we have out of this little box play here. Pass and cut, fellas. Pass and cut.
We were talking about earlier. About
everybody standing, Tim.
Yep, cutting and movement. Offensive basketball is about movement.
And when a team is pressuring you, as Garfield is, you back cut. You make them pay for that pressure by back cutting.
And now we got a foul out front on Garfield Heights. Lorain High with the 7-point lead, 31-24. Over on the far side, that'll be Martinez to inbound with the ninth graders from Lorain High. Martinez inbounded it, got it right back, but then he got swarmed. Wow. And now
possession.
Gonna have a possession arrow belonging to Garfield Heights.
Wow. Lead down to 7. Turnovers have been the problem.
So Lorain trying to dig in and get a stop right here, and there's a play made. Nicely done by Dennis Pettis as he was able to knock it off the Garfield Heights player, and so Lorain will get the basketball. Here comes Ruiz through the center circle. Left side to Javon Williams. Drops it in the corner.
Good
now they
cut.
got it down
Finally
low.
A back cut.
The shot was missed by Ruiz. Garfield Heights will push it to the other end. On the right side, 3-ball off the glass, no good for Warman. And back comes Lorain High, driving and missing was Williams, but the putback is good.
33-24.
Yep, 9-point lead for Lorain High with 4:20 to go here at the Titan Gym. Of course, this is a triple header with Lorain and Garfield Heights.
Drop step.
That sure was a nice little drop and spin, but the shot was missed. But Garfield Heights with another opportunity, and they capitalize as that bucket is good. And now Garfield Heights, having cut it to 7 with 4:06 to go, will take time.
Okay, Tim, that gives us an opportunity. Sports medicine at Cleveland Clinic Sports Health offers expert diagnosis and treatment for athletes of all abilities and ages. Call 877-440-TEAM, T-E-A-M, or visit sportshealth.org to learn more. Cleveland Clinic Sports Health, a proud medical provider for Lorain High School student athletes. Well, here we go.
So Lorain High with a 7-point lead, 33-26, 4:06 to go, fourth quarter. Ninth grade basketball.
You know, when you're up by 6, 7, 8, 10, late in the game at the fresh or at any level, this is the point where, as a team offensively, you have to make the strongest cuts you've made all night. You really do.
There's a double team, but Lorain High shot it down low. Now they get it out front into the lane. Bank shot no good, but a foul will put Ruiz at the free throw line.
You know, the defense, when they're down, they're going to gamble a little bit, overplay, jump into passing lanes, try to deny, pressure the ball. That's when you have to make late in the game the strongest cuts on out-of-bounds plays, for example, the strongest cuts you've made the entire night to make yourself available. And then, you know, the first rule is once you get spacing movement, first open man gets the basketball.
34-26. Here comes Jay-Sean Childs back in for Lorain. Couple of 3-balls. He's got 6 points. At the free throw line, Ruiz. Second one way short. And Garfield Heights will get the basketball. Lorain with the 8-point lead. 34-26, Titans. 3:50 to go here at the Titan Gym.
Lorain falling back to this zone. It's a 2-3 zone, but they line up in an I, just like in the old days. Kind of Syracuse style.
At the college level, you mentioned Syracuse.
Yeah.
Does Boeheim run the most intricate zone defense?
Well, yeah. Well, but he runs a 2-3, and they kick back on ball reversal. So if you have an offensive player in the post and on the baseline, they can still cover you down. That's what they do. When the ball's reversed, they kick back. The wingman kicks back until the guard recovers. It's a tough defense for guards.
Boy, nice play there by Ruiz. Great play by Christian.
It's a tough defense for guards to play because the two guards are responsible for 3 offensive positions on the floor, the point in either wing, ultimately. So you really have to be, work hard and be quick to play his zone if you're a guard.
Garfield Heights with another turnover. Childs feeds it down the floor. Childs now gets it back. Fires on the left side. They drop it in the corner. 3-ball up.
Now, come on now. I don't know about that shot, fellas. You're up by 10 with 3 minutes left. You don't want to shoot them back in the game. Run an offense. Get fouled. Back cut. Make layups.
2:56 to go. Titans with that 10-point lead, 36-26. So let's see if they can dig in and get a few more stops. Garfield Heights with the basketball. And Ruiz went for the steal right there, but got a piece of the arm instead.
Not ready to play on that out-of-bounds play.
Driving and scoring.
Not ready to play, fellas.
And it's now a 36-28 ball game as Garfield Heights cuts it to 8. Pressure by Garfield Heights as the Bulldogs trap once Lorain brings it across, but we'll get a blocking foul call.
Well, that's the 7th team foul, so that'll put Lorain High at the line, 1-1.
Free throw shooter for the Titans.
Sean Childs, number 1.
Yep. He's at 6 points in the ball game as he's hit a couple of 3 balls.
Let's check out Sean's shot here. Pretty good.
Yep. Hits the front end of the 1-and-1.
Could use a little bit more air under it, a little bit more lift. The physics of the ball going through the basket, the more lift you have on the shot, the larger the area is for the ball to enter.
Boy, you're getting into the physics of this thing now.
But it's true, Tim. That's why you have to have lift on your shot. The area of the cylinder actually is larger with lift. That's pretty good lift right there.
You sound like the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz. All of a sudden, he got a brain and he started rattling off mathematicians-type stuff.
There you go. That's why I'm amazed Kevin Love's free throw goes in. He has no lift to that thing at all. It still goes in.
Right, a late jumper, no good. And a whistle and a foul. I read somewhere, now I can't remember the exact line that the Scarecrow utilizes once the Wizard gives him the brain or the diploma or whatever, but it's something about the square of an isosceles.
Yes.
I read somewhere that what he says is actually not true.
Good steal.
Scarecrow was a dummy. Driving shot is good by Childs.
Nice defensive play by Childs, and he attacked the basket very well, a little Euro step.
Now it's looking good for Lorain. They're up by 11 with under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter of play. 39-28, so they've apparently weathered the storm of the Bulldogs, and now a turnover by Garfield Heights. And now Chris Kimbrough says, let's spread the floor here a little bit. And here comes the double team. Dribbling away from it is Childs. They get it down low. Oh, a shot block. DiBernardo out of there with it come the Bulldogs. DiBernardo tries to come back and get the steal, but Garfield Heights able to get it down the left side, and then stepping out of bounds as he got bumped was Jalen Davis. So that'll give it back to Lorain High.
You know, Tim, 2 basketballs will fit through that rim at the same time.
I've heard that. No, I have. I'd love to see that sometime. For all the years I've been at practices and that sort of thing, I've heard that you can actually 2 through at the same time.
That's right.
And yet there are times that basket still has a lid on it.
Yeah. It's not easy.
You see the shot block down below. Great camera work by Joe Bach today.
You know, one of the differences here in this game, you know, both teams play very similarly. Lorain just shoots it better. Shots look better. They shoot it better. They shot it better tonight. In this game, I think that's the big difference. Otherwise, it's been very evenly matched.
We're down to about a minute to go. 11-point lead for the freshman from Lorain. In the right corner, DiBernardo got it out front.
Oh,
3.
I don't know about that.
Martinez missed it.
You'd say, okay, you're up by 11 with a minute less than let it fly. I don't know. I still see you have to do it the right way.
Green light, Bob. Give him the green light.
I don't know.
No, situation basketball, you do.
At this level, you know, we're teaching here at this level.
Yep. And at the other end, 3-ball missed. Outlet pass down the floor to Lorenzo. Lorenzo with 35 seconds on the clock. So the Lorain freshmen are going to win this one as Lorenzo's just dribbling the ball near the half-court line. Lorenzo now to the top of the circle. So you were saying, Bob, at the outset, they were 10-10 coming?
10-9.
10-9. So they're going to go to 11-9 on the year.
I see, and I don't want to name any names, but I see a couple guys I think can play down the road.
Childs drives and scores.
More than a couple.
41-28. In all likelihood, that could be our final. Scoop and a miss, and that's going to do it. So the Lorain High freshmen have knocked off the freshmen from Garfield Heights 41-28. Boy, it was Sean Childs that led the way along with Christian Ruiz. They each had 11 points for Lorain High. A nice job done by Ryan DiBernardo. He had 5. Micah Williams also with 5, and Anthony Lorenzo with 5. So a balanced attack by Lorain High. So the freshmen are winners 41-28. So a good job by the 9th graders for Lorain High. And coming up next here at the Titan Gym, it'll be JV basketball for Lorain and Garfield Heights. So stay with us. We've got a lot more coming your way on WLCS TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.